Hey guys, before this video begins, I would just like to say I'm sorry about saying that today was going to be the release date for uh, Kwame Buster, because that was unfortunately wrong. There was another one of my fellow YouTubers, Shuwu Frost, who thought that it was releasing today, and I don't think I made it clear that that was where I heard it from, and I never heard it from anyone else. But he realized his mistake and apologized, so I thought I would just apologize for that as well. Um, I said that it was coming out, and it really isn't. So I'm sorry. Here's another video to hopefully make your day a little bit better. And yes, let's get into this actual video about spoilers. So everyone says, oh, spoilers are awful, and blah, 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 blah. And while true, a lot of spoilers can be bad, but quite simply, they're not the worst thing ever. A lot of people will say things like, oh, spoilers are awful, they suck, I don't want to do anything with spoilers and stuff like that. And this is so intense that even Thomas Ostruck, who, even though it's very clear that he doesn't actually care about spoilers, he always says on his Twitter, I will never give away spoilers, which is one of the reasons why I think that when I tweet out to him asking him a question, I'm usually thinking, oh, I'm right, especially if he never answers. So there is that. Or if he does respond and says no, then it's also a possibility that I am right. He's just trying to to distract people. But obviously, it also is because nobody knows about me. But that's beside the point. Are spoilers bad? Not necessarily. See, here's the thing. Some of the greatest shows of all time are actually very spoilerful. I'll take an example. The Dark Crystal, the new show for The Dark Crystal. You know what the biggest spoiler for that show is? The movie, which came out years ago. And now, if you haven't seen the movie and you're watching the show, then I would be surprised. But spoiler alert, everyone will die by the end of this show, leaving only a few of the Skeksis and Aughra, and as well as two of the two Gelflings, which will be babies at the time of the show, at the very end of the show. That's the spoiler for the show, and everyone knows this. But yet, even though we all know that all these characters that we are going to love are eventually going to die, the show is still amazing, and we love it. Another good example is Assassination Classroom. The spoiler is in the name. By the end of the show, they will kill Koro Sensei. It's just a simple fact. And you have to know that if you're going to be watching Assassination Classroom. If there is no payoff, then there's no reason to be watching the show. Yet, the fact that Koro Sensei's death is still one of the most sad deaths in anime is because of the fact that, well, we knew it was always going to happen. Every single one of, even though we knew that it was coming, you see lots of things that build up to why you don't want him to die, and that's important. Every single thing that you get in a story is important. Are spoilers bad? Sometimes, absolutely, but they don't necessarily detract from your enjoyment of the show. For example, if you let's list off your favorite movie in comments, and if you did, then that instantly states that you don't really care about spoilers. The simple fact of the matter is that every time you rewatch a movie, the spoilers are already in your head. You know exactly what's going to happen, and you still enjoy it. One of the reasons why I love Promised Neverland is because now that I know things about the show, as I look back at it, I see things that I didn't notice before. That's one of the most important things about a show. Even if you know how it's going to end, you still continue to return to the show because you enjoy everything that leads up to that eventuality. And like I said, spoilers aren't inherently bad. One of the reasons why I often will put, and I've recently decided to stop putting the spoilers in my videos, is because of the fact that, quite simply, most of these are just theories. And even if they are revealing the things about the future, it's honestly not that big of a deal. Because honestly, these shows are great. Even if you know what's going to happen, you'll still love the show. We know who is going to get akumatized. We know all this. So it's not as bad as we always make it out to be. I think one of my fellow anime YouTubers, Nux, I don't know if I'm going to link him. He's a bit more unfamily friendly than I am. He recently did a video about making a meme and how he spoiled the manga and said that Bakugo in My Hero Academia is gonna die in season 4, which obviously isn't real. But the simple fact of the matter is that people were upset with him for spoiling the show, even though he didn't actually. And that's an important thing to understand, is that if we are learning about these spoilers, so what? One of the things that is often considered a spoiler for Promised Neverland is that, what's his name? Crap, I'm forgetting his name. Whatever. Is that he's not dead. Which is... Why am I forgetting his name? Seriously. I watch too many anime. But that's one of the biggest spoilers, that he is not dead. But in actuality, most of us know this. Like, even if you've here's the thing. Promised Neverland is not scared to show people die. At all. They show the dead bodies every single time, which, because of that, the fact that they wouldn't show him dead is clue to everyone. He's not dead, people. Don't start freaking out, okay? And honestly, if you are still not certain that he's not dead, he's not dead. I haven't even reached that point in the manga, and I know he's not dead. So that's a clue to how freaking obvious it is. So yeah, don't. If you are worried about spoilers, just don't. Honestly, because quite honestly, spoilers are not the end of the world. And because of that, I actually want to talk a little bit about something. What is one of the shows that you would consider is one of the most influential stories in the entire media? Probably one of the first things to pop into your mind is the Star Wars trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy. And spoiler alert, Luke is Vader's son. What? That moment, even now, still rocks us to the core, even though we already know it. It's amazing. Quite simply, Everyone who's seen it knows it. But we see the pain that Luke goes through as he's realizing this, and even still, we love it. Spoilers will never go away, honestly. But quite honestly, that's not the problem. Our enjoyment is not based on spoilers. We all assume that spoilers are going to make us not enjoy the series as much as we do, when in actuality, sometimes they actually improve it. Like, I think, like I said, that two of the biggest shows ever are quite simply spoilers in their own right. Like I said, Dark Crystal and Assassination Classroom. You know how eventually they're going to end. Assassination Classroom, Koro Sensei is going to die. And Dark Crystal, eventually everyone is going to die. Well, all of the Gelflings that are in the show. They're all going to die. That's not a surprise. But we still love these shows because we see the development of these characters. And that's an important thing to realize. And that's another thing that is also important. Prequels. If spoilers were such an issue, prequels would never be a thing. But it takes the author or whatever writer to learn about the spoilers and develop their stories in the correct way. One of the reasons why I'm not worried about spoilers for my books, even though there will be some moments that are going to be huge and surprising. It's not that big of a deal. One of the other biggest spoilers is any story where there's a big bad and you've got a hero. Eventually, you know that the hero is going to defeat the big bad. There's just no way around it. Like, for example, Sting's Adventures. You guys know that especially if you've read the book, you know that by the end of the series, Sting will kill Black Cat. It's his destiny. So, I don't really consider that a spoiler. Everyone knows that that is going to happen. So, don't worry about spoilers, especially if you are worried about them. And as for Miraculous, we got plenty of spoilers all over this channel. So, you know what's coming. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you have some crazy show that you love that that can be spoiled without detracting from its enjoyment, then let me know down in the comments below. And also let me know some of your theories also down in the comments. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys in the next video. Badon.